Hi, my name's Robin Daly, and I have a design studio called Robin Daly Color and Design. And I started it thinking I would be doing strictly color consultations and quickly left that in the dust. I offer full service residential interior design. It goes all the way back to my grandfather, who was a designer before we had the name designer. And I have a photo of him on my website, on my About Me page, where he's displaying this fabric to this well-dressed, well-coiffed client in the 1930s, maybe the late 20s. And he's showing her this fabric that she could use for draperies. So my DNA goes back a little ways. And then I grew up in my family business, and we had both paint and decorating stores, and we manufactured stains and wood finishes. So I have a background that includes a lot of design, but also really practical, functional, business operational things. And as a designer, I think there's a reason why so many of us come to it as a second or maybe even a third career. We have this full range of life experiences that can come into play to make what seems like it should be kind of easy, but it's really not. There's so many details and so many problems to solve. So life experience did bring me to being an interior designer at this chapter in my life where I have a lot of gray hair. I am bringing on more virtual assistant support, and I love it. Oh my gosh, it leaves so much more room in my brain for me to do the things I'm good at. And I can share those tasks that drive me bananas, and they go away and then they come back and they're done. It's like magic. I actually work with a number of virtual assistants. One is based here in Washington State and is a designer in their own right. And we work together 5 to 10 hours a week. And we do a lot of co-design and then drafting and things like that. I have another person that I work with who helps me create my weekly email updates. And ostensibly, weekly email updates are for your client's benefit, but really, they keep me on track, because if there's been something that I've been avoiding or not getting around to, it's a good way to get that back in the swing and keep the project from derailing. And then, of course, it keeps your client from wondering where the heck things are and what's going on. And then I just brought somebody on for admin tasks. So they're helping me craft email templates. They're creating a PDF visual tracker for items that are ordered, so that every week with my email update, they get a visual tracker to show them where that thing is in the world, like if it's in production, if it's at the receiver. It's very simple, but when you have a lot of things that you're juggling, a lot of items that may be on order, I don't know where they are half the time either. So again, it's one of those visual tools that helps the client and it helps me. I've analyzed where my clients come from, and it's two main pathways. The first one would be referral, and that is through clients or people who've known me in my life, and through building contractors. So a couple different categories within that referral. And then the other is Google. So, I see designers getting work on Instagram. Again, I think you have to figure out where you have time and energy. And I just have not devoted that much energy to really building up social media. But Google is the world's largest search engine, right? So why not do that? And you don't have to feed the beast quite as often, too. I am hourly. And the way I work it is I charge an initial design consultation fee. That's usually for 2 hours. And then when we decide we want to work together, I pull together a scope of work and I try to give an estimate of what I think the time will be or the investment that they might be expecting. But I've also had enough clientele where we've added to the project or they're not good decision makers. And I decided hourly just made the most sense for me. And I just tell them, hey, if you're a good decision maker, it goes quicker as a little enticement. And then we just start with a retainer and we're off to the races. Once that retainer is spent, then we switch to monthly billing. So I try to keep it very simple so that people can just be like, yep, I get it. Okay. I have a rough sense of what the budget's going to be, and we just do it. The industry is really a collection of smaller businesses. Even the businesses that we look at as being very large corporations are not large in the big scheme of the business world. And so it's very fractured in terms of you and I are in the digital age, and a lot of what we do is through Zoom meetings or digital presentations. And the technology is there, but it's very expensive for companies to be able to, drape a piece of furniture with the desired fabric that you want. And pulling that together from different vendors and things like that is, it falls on us, not on the vendor to do that. So I think, you know what drives me bonkers? Okay, so when I'm ordering something, some companies give me an acknowledgement, some companies don't. Sometimes it comes right away. Sometimes it's 2 weeks later. And by the time it comes, if it's 2 weeks later, that's like 1,000 emails ago from my original order. So the throughput and the flow of paperwork can be very challenging. My husband, he's a CFO, and he says that the design industry is more complicated paperwork-wise than any industry that he's been involved in, and he's been involved in large industries. So I find that really painful to deal with. Not impossible, but that goes now off Robin's to-do list and onto the virtual assistant's to-do list. I'm kind of an open book, and I had a hard time with that question. I asked somebody that's a friend of mine, what is something people don't know about me? Like, what do you see in me? And his response was, there could be a dumpster fire going around and you're just very, very calm. And that is true. So there's not very many emergencies in design, right? So if something is messed up, then the next thing we do is we figure out how to solve it. We can go back and do a forensic afterwards and figure out why it got messed up. But right now, the goal is to just keep it moving forward. So I think that maybe that I am an aspiring artist. Maybe that's the secret people don't know, because I don't want to show anybody.